not be printed by government. And the kind of the top of that pile is gold, silver, Bitcoin. One layer down from that is, although it can't be moved and it can be taxed, is real estate. And so, when you come to, money has lots of properties, one of which is store of value. Um,
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Finance Wolf. In this video, Larry Lepard talks about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Exchange-traded funds for Bitcoin ETFs have more than 2 billion Hong Kong dollars, or about $256 million, in assets under management, AUM, in Hong Kong. This accomplishment is noteworthy, but given the recent developments in the ETF market, the 3 Bitcoin ETFs in Hong Kong had increased their total holdings to over 4,450 Bitcoin. The U.S. counterparts have drawn noticeably more investors and funds. In the last week alone, there has been a net inflow of 247 Bitcoin into the funds. Famous Bitcoin enthusiast Lawrence Lam recently gave his thoughts on investing in Bitcoin in an interview. Lam stressed the significance of age in relation to risk tolerance in Bitcoin investing, suggesting that younger investors may be more acclimated to the volatility of Bitcoin, while older investors may need to exercise greater caution due to their shorter time horizons. Elderly investors should diversify their holdings with some Bitcoin, but they should proceed cautiously. Younger investors, on the other hand, have a longer runway and can tolerate market drops more easily. There are a lot of topics Larry Lepard covers in this video, so please watch it through to the end and like and share it. Additionally, Lepard expressed his belief that Bitcoin will surpass gold in terms of long-term growth and investment potential. And please subscribe to our Finance Wolf channel.
but the dollar stinks the least because it's the world's reserve currency and people need to pay their debts in dollars. And so as a result, when you get monetary tightening and monetary problems, they surface in the smaller countries first, because and as their currencies fall, people are forced into buying the dollar because a lot of people have dollar denominated debt. The piece that I think he's missing is that the U.S. runs a huge net negative investment position, net international investment position, and IIP. We're about 70% negative, and which means that a lot of foreigners own a lot more assets in the U.S. Than we own of foreign assets. And so while they need dollars to pay their debts, they also have dollar-based assets that they can dump. And we saw it recently that China, for example, there was a Chinese bank that was selling U.S. Treasury securities, and we believe China is selling U.S. Treasury securities as well. So it's a lot of international kind of inside baseball on all these relative currencies. I try to keep it simple. All of these currencies, in my opinion, stink because they're all issued by governments. They all can be printed to excess, and they all will be printed to excess. So what really matters to me is I view these currencies as against things that cannot be printed by government. And the kind of the top of that pile is gold, silver, Bitcoin. One layer down from that is, although it can't be moved and it can be taxed, is real estate. And so, when you come to, money has lots of properties, one of which is store of value. Medium of exchange and accounting are a couple of other reasons to have money. But the store of value piece of money is always determined by the money that has the lowest stock to flow and the money that is the most scarce. It's going to hold value the best. And Bitcoin by math is the scarcest money in the world. Gold is second, and silver is third. And all of these fiat currencies are flawed, and will ultimately, in my opinion, continue to debase against the sounder money alternative.
At the height of the NFT hype cycle, it seemed as though everyone could be captivated by digital art. The craze for NFT collections, such as CryptoPunks and Bored Apes, has taken the cultural world by storm and is expected to gain significant traction in 2022. Notably, celebrities like Justin Bieber and LeBron James have joined the frenzy. The purchase of artwork by Tony Hawk and Madonna generated waves in the mainstream media. January 2022 saw Snoop Dogg and Eminem perform as Bored Ape Yacht Club avatars at the MTV Video Music Awards. Paris Hilton, star of American Social, talked about her love of NFTs when she appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. The market peaked a few months later in May 2022, with a market capitalization of $526 billion. However, as of right now, the market's total value is closer to $18 billion, marking a significant 97% decline. In light of this, it's important to take those NFT investments' current performance into consideration. Many people consider the CryptPunk series, which Lavras introduced to the Ethereum blockchain in 2017, to be among the most well-known and recognizable sets of nuts ever offered. The stunning collection of 10,000 pixelated punk characters had a big influence on the development of the 2021 CryptOrt movement. In a recent auction, Christie's of London sold a collection of non-CryptoPunk art for an astounding $16.9 million. According to Christie's, the collection was inspired by the London punk scene, Blade Runner, and William Gibson's classic cyberpunk novel Neuromancer, which was published in 1984. There were only 9 alien CryptPunks, and one of them was CP Punk hash 5822. Another alien crypt pump number 635 was sold for $4,000 Ethereum, or $12.4 million. Additionally, alien crypt punk HH 3100 was sold for 4,500 Ethereum in March 2024. The auction took place on February 12, 2022. One of the crypt punks, known as Hashed 5822, was sold for a staggering amount of 8,000 Ethereum, or $23.7 million. Remarkably, just a month later, Deke declined an offer of 10,000 Ethereum for his punk. This decision would have resulted in a quick profit of $2 million. Even though the interest in CryptPunks has faded in just 2 years, people are still passionate about Ethereum. In February 2022, a stash of 8,000 Ethereum was valued at a relatively low $23.7 million. Fast forward to the present, and the same amount of Ethereum would be worth an astounding $26.6 million. Returning to our topic of discussion, the Larry Lepard interview.
Nominally or real? So, right? And, I think most of your audience knows what that means. But, nominally, I mean, if we're inflating everything, the numbers are all going to get bigger. We're all going to be, I joked around with a friend, we're all going to be, millionaires or billionaires, but, gasoline's going to cost $100 a gallon. When you're printing money and you're increasing the number of monetary units out there and you have inflation, yeah, guess what? Your GDP goes up, your net worth goes up, everything goes up. But you really haven't, created what I consider to be true wealth, which is the real increase in GDP. And I would actually argue maybe we're in a deflationary or in somewhat of a slowdown / depression today. I don't know if we're selling as many units. And to me, real wealth is when you have more units, i.e. higher productivity, than you had before. And so you get what I consider to be real growth. And that's why in the chart you showed, you notice once you inflation adjusted, the numbers aren't nearly as impressive. And so what's been going on is, look, as we discussed in COVID, they printed, they grew the money supply by 40%. And they also spent $2 trillion at the government level, in subsidies and so forth. And so those acts, pushed up. That's what pushed up the price of everything. If everybody wants to know why inflation is bad now, that's it. That's the reason why. The government created a lot of monetary units and put them into the system. And so yeah, your housing price goes up, the stock market goes up. It's interesting to note the stock market is at or near record highs, although I think there's some cracks beginning to form there. And this is all because of these monetary units, increasing the number of monetary units, which is another way of saying printing money. As we know, they've been kind of trying not to do that because inflation was so hot. It ran up to 9%. And so, they began tightening with quantitative tightening, and they upped the interest rates from the zero bound up to 5.25% Fed funds rate. And those two actions have had the effect of slowing down the increase in M2, not completely, because there have been other things that have added to it, but slowing down the increase in M2 and bringing inflation back down from that 9 into the 3s. But the point is that the system is constructed such that they have to have inflation or else the system will blow up eventually. And so my belief is that it's just a matter of time until the next crisis erupts and the next inflationary event occurs. And, in the last event, we saw the Fed balance sheet go from 3 trillion to 9. It's now back down to 7 because of quantitative tightening. I think in the next coming event, the balance sheet's going to go from 7 to 20. And, inflation is going to go higher. I believe we're in a decade like the 70s, where we have waves of higher and higher inflation.
On August 21, scammers gained access to the official McDonald's Instagram page and stole more than $700,000 in Solana. They advertised a phony cryptocurrency called Grimace on the social media site of the fast food chain giants. Screenshots obtained by X show that the McDonald's Instagram page posted several times supporting this fictitious coin, describing it as a Solana experiment. According to a blockchain analytics tool, these postings were viewed by the brand's 5.1 million followers globally. Maps employing a financial analyst approach, the hacker cleverly used a Solana Mocoin employer pump fund to swiftly obtain 75% of the Grimace tokens in circulation. Following the official McDonald's account's posts, the hacker distributed the tokens around roughly 100 distinct wallets. In just 30 minutes, the value of the G-Memo coin surged from a few thousand to an astounding 25 million per deck data for screening reasons. Following the hacker's decision to sell out their holdings, the value of the Memo coin plummeted, falling as low as $650,000 in just 40 minutes. The hackers took the liberty of altering the McDonald's page's bio section to brag about their successes and reveal that they had made a total of $700,000 from the rug pull. They were also able to steal roughly $700,000 in Solana from the attack. Since then, the bio and the post endorsing the mimic coin have been deleted and restored to their original forms. On August 21, McDonald's reported an incident affecting its social media accounts. The problem has been fixed, and the company has apologized to its fans for any offensive language used during that period. If this video has been helpful to you, please like it and subscribe to our channel, Finance Wolf. We'll see you in the next video.